Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
There can be two approaches for that. Either we can create two workflows, and I'll tell you the drawback of this approach. Or in the same workflow, we can have two actions. Either I can have two workflows. One workflow that will have field update and second workflow that will have email alert. Or I can have one workflow with two actions, field update and email alert in same workflow. There can be two approaches. Now comes, if I go with approach number 1, what is the drawback in that? There might be a possibility. Now comes the sequence of operation. In order for success, second workflow to succeed, we want every time first workflow should run prior to second workflow, because then only we will get the patient email. If field update is done prior to email alert, but Salesforce does not guarantee any sequence of operation, there might be a possibility that workflow second will try to run prior to workflow 1 and it will fail. But if I go with second approach, two actions in the same workflow, in there Salesforce gives a guarantee that in a single workflow, if two actions are there, field update and email alert. Field update will always run prior to email alert. That guarantee Salesforce provides us. Don't go with approach. Let's go with second approach. I'll be creating one workflow and I'll be creating two actions in that. Let's try that. Let me verify. What all fields we have. Let me open a patient detail and then I'll open appointment detail. Let me verify if on the patient detail I have created the required field. Otherwise, I'll quickly. That is the access. I had this. I want to get this going. I had this field car and I was looking at the status icon because I want to make it and the decision to the way that you are selecting them. It will look like that essentially. This is a Yaba mated ang team SSO. Which I can call this area 7 results. That's how they got there. Greats, me all. It should be. Email length can be say 100. Let me complete the steps quickly. Email field is now there on patient. Now let's go to workflow. I will be creating a workflow. Now say I am creating an appointment. What should be the criteria for this workflow? Automatically, the email field should be populated as soon as you enter the patient's name. Can I say that the workflow where patient email is blank, it should only fire for those? Or can I say that it can be combination of both? If my aim is to fetch the value from patient detail, Can I say that the workflow where this field is populated, it should only fire for those records? Because now, if you enter a patient name, you want that for workflow to, evaluate and on which event and on which event. Let's go with the R requirement and let's identify the event, whether first, second or third. My requirement is send email to patient email on appointment creation. That means which one? That is the second one. No, just go through this requirement. Patient email on appointment creation. This should be first one because I want only creation on appointment creation. I'll go with first option. Let's search for workflow. Workflow rule. Yesterday, I created a record set email on appointment detail. We'll modify that and we'll utilize that. Yesterday, evaluation criteria will remain same created. The criteria will be changed. I want patient detail. And here I will need the where is that field? Patient detail. Let's go with formula. What I want. I want to check that in this field there should be a valid value. With the help of this screen, it was not giving me option to select that like whether that field has value or not. What I can do? I can go with formula. It should be insert field appointment detail. Which part are we checking now? Sumant. We are checking whether we want our workflow to run only when this field has a valid value. That check I cannot apply with the help of traditional, the way we were doing yesterday. Because appointment detail, this field, patient detail, is not available here. If you can go through these 7 fields, there is no option to select that filter. I can do that with the help of formula. Formula evaluates to true. Click on Insert Field Appointment Detail, Patient Detail Insert. My criteria should be not is null. What I want this for? This function check, I want to check whether there is a value in the field or not, is null. I want not of that. That means there should be a value always. I am applying not of is null in this field. That means this field is not blank. Click on check syntax. Syntax is fine. Click save. Here in the workflow action, click on edit. Add workflow action. New field update. I would give it name as populate. Patient email. I want to populate patient email field. And the value should come from. To get the value from patient, I need another formula. That formula should be appointments, patient. Email appointment has a patient detail field which further has email. I want this value to be populated here in the patient email field. I need to apply the formula here. Patient detail email. It will fetch the value of email from the patient. Patient detail email. Any issues till now, Anita? Click on Save. Second action is already there. The action that we used yesterday, in the second action, I am using the value in the patient email to send email. That will remain as it is. All the changes are done. It is activated. Let's verify this. Let me open my email. I'll do one thing. I'll create a patient with my email. Let me create an appointment. Now I'm creating an appointment for this patient. I am not providing patient email. And let's see if I get the desired result. Or the email is populated successfully. Just go through this again. I can understand. It can be challenging to understand. It's a combination of both. We have just introduced this formula in the criteria. The aim is to check whether there is a valid value in this field or not. Let me open this. From the front end, you might be able to understand. The aim is to check whether there is a value in this field or not. That I can only check with the help of formula. I provided this formula. Not is null patient detail. After that, 2 actions. Out of these actions, first the rule. Once again, submit the rule criteria. You created that in the first page of workflow rules. But we already had a rule there for the send email for appointment detail. I changed that rule. Oh, we changed it. The first thing is that we need to check the email. Any issues, any doubt? No, but I think I have to try it on my own. But I understand. One thing first, it will check if the patient name is not null. And then it will populate the email. And then it will check if there is an email address, and then it will send an email. Come again, please. First, it will check the patient. It will. First, it will check whether there is a patient name, and if there is a patient name, it will populate the patient's email. And after that, it will check the email. And if it is not null, it will. And then it will evaluate the other action. Send email for appointment detail. No, like evaluation will be at only once. It will evaluate if there is a value in this field. After that, it will pull the value of email and populate here. And in the second step, we will use that value and we will send email. Oh, it's just one evaluation? Happens at the same time. Come again, please. It's just one evaluation which happens at the same time. But my question is, how does it populate the email first and then send the email? What if it checks for the email field first? That's what I was saying, that in the same workflow, if I have two actions, Salesforce give a guarantee that field update will always run for the same time. First, field update will run. It will populate the value in this field and then email alert will run. That is how it will run. Any issues, any doubt? No, I'm good now. Sure. Next scenario would be to create a task for case creator on new case creation. What I want. If I'm creating a case, let me open a case tab. If I am creating a case, there should be a task created. If I go to home page, if I am creating a task, I should see, I am creating a case. I should see a task on my home page. If I make it my task, I should see a task created and something like this. A task should be assigned to case creator and I am the creator. It should be assigned to me that there is a case created. Please follow up something like that. As soon as I'll create a case, there should be a task created on my home page. I'll verify that a task is created. How to make it happen? Let's see. Search for workflow rule. New rule. Object would be case. I am creating a case and I want a task to be assigned to case creator. It can be like any, just provide some meaningful name, assign task. What should be the evaluation criteria? When a case is created, we have to send a reminder. When a case is created, now very important concept. I don't have any valid criteria here. There might be a possibility, very rare possibility, where we are not able to provide a criteria, and I want workflow to evaluate each and every record without any criteria. What to do? I don't have, but if I go without providing criteria, it will stop me. What to do in that scenario? It's very important point. If you make it criteria are met, it will not allow you to go ahead without providing a valid criteria. If I make it as formula evaluates to true and pass it as true here, that means it will work for all the scenarios because ultimately formula has to evaluate to true. If I am providing here true, indirectly I am making it run. For all the scenarios, there might be a possibility 1 out of 100 where you are not able to find out a valid criteria. What to the doing that? I have seen people struggling in that scenario. Always in that scenario, just do this. And click on Save and Next. Action should be new task. Task should be assigned to whom? The case creator. Here we have creator. Case creator. Subject can be case is created. Due date can be. You have to complete this action in next 7 days. It can be anything depending upon the requirement. Let's for our use case, let's keep it 7 days. Status is in progress and let's click on save. Now, as soon as I'm creating a case, for that case, there should be a task that has to be completed prior to 27 December. Let's create a case. Let's add origin. Leave everything as it is. Click on save. We are creating a case now. Case number is 60. Let's go to homepage and see whether there is a task created for this case. Let's go to homepage and see whether there is a task created for this case. Let's go to homepage and see whether there is a task created for this case. There is a task case is created. It should be on the homepage. On the homepage, we have my task section. A task is created. If I have to complete this, I have to click on View All. I can mark it as completed from here. Now it is completed. Otherwise, it will remain in your queue and you have to complete it prior to 27 December. That is how the task is assigned. That's just the action item on your queue in your bucket. You have to do that action the way we have a reminder in our mobile phones. The same concept of task is there. We utilize when we need to provide some action items to any user. That was all about workflow, email alert, field update task. Just go through these scenarios. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.